Romania had two rounds of elections, the first round and the second round. In the first round, we had a very big surprise. We had out of the blue candidate who won some amazing number of votes. And between the second round, the first round and the second round, we had something like 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, Romania faced several discussions with experts and authorities and governments and constitutional court, basically regarding social media and the interference of social media in politics, more likely in election of our Romanian president. What happened? And I'm saying this based on public information and what we know up to the moment. Basically, we had this out of the blue candidate, Călin Georgescu is his name, who gained an amazing amount of popularity because he used TikTok algorithms, TikTok influencers, lifestyle influencers, and his propaganda was made in a way that people were not aware that this was political content. It was also an analysis by Expert Forum made in Romania, and they basically emphasized how the content became very viral through manual hashtags and manual algorithms, and not necessarily automation. So it was basically the first case in Europe. As Gigi Vance also said a couple of weeks ago when it was a meeting, when basically we had a very strict social media interference in our election procedure. What happened was that our Romanian authorities even asked the European Commission to open an investigation on TikTok. And to my knowledge, the investigation is still ongoing. One of the reasons was how TikTok, because we're also talking about the Digital Service Act and so on, how TikTok allowed such content to be disseminated in the whole network. What are the requirements? What are the boundaries? And what are the safety measures such platforms take in order to guarantee the democracy? Because in the end, it was thought that we through social media we had an interference of an outside power which used social media as a channel in order to say exactly what kind of candidate we should push forward. So now it's also a discussion. Who says what is information and what is misinformation, and who decides if we are talking about misinformation and disinformation? Now Romania is working on a package in order to spot fake news. And our authorities will have some little bit more competence in this area, but still we have this discussion: who says what is misinformation, what is disinformation, and what is fake news. Second, now our elections, as I told you, they were cancelled and now they're postponed until May the 4th. And our local authority, the election authority, now developed a new guide because you need to somehow overlook this. You need to overlook also the social media. And when the local authority first elaborated the guides, the election guides, nobody took in account TikTok, for example, or Instagram or Facebook. They were just talking about newspapers, media papers, outlets, but nobody could have pointed exactly the power of TikTok in an election process, and of course Instagram. In this scenario, we have the third problem, like how do we manage to separate political content, which is made by political actors according to EU legislation, because we have regulations on this, and content which is made by people who support a candidate. So, for example, me, Anna Maria, if I do social media content, because I do social media content, and for example, I want to express the fact that I like a candidate, and I post this kind of material on social media, will that kind of material, that kind of content is subject to political regulations regarding publicity or not. So it's a very fine line because, as I said, nobody knows now what means, for example, disinformation. When the Constitutional Court annulled our elections, when they canceled the elections, they just said something like very generic that people are very much exposed to social media. Uh, TikTok algorithms are not public, so we cannot control them in order to uh, protect the democracy. And they said that the elections, the first round of the elections, should be cancelled because the consent of the people is not a fair one and was basically manipulated through social media algorithms.